Hey, you! Thank you for joining me for today's Internet Stories. I have my fresh cup of coffee, and I hope you do too. Let's get buzzed. Let's babble. Am I the bad guy for breaking up with my girlfriend when she tested me? I had been with my girlfriend for a year and a half. We met at a social function for people in our line of work. We hit it off and started seeing each other more often, then decided to make it exclusive. Recently, we have been talking about moving in together. Our city is expensive, and we thought we could save some money. Her apartment is bigger than mine, but I own mine, so we were working stuff out. Last weekend, out of nowhere, she said, "We're moving too fast." I told her, "Okay, no problem." We didn't make any plans that cannot be undone yet. Nope, this was not good enough for her. She said she wanted to break up because she wasn't sure that I was all in. All I said was, "Okay." Suddenly, she freaked out. Apparently, this was a test to see if I would fight for her. Yeah, I don't do that. And I did not appreciate mind games. I told her that I would box up anything of hers that might be at my place, and she could pick it up. She accused me of being a cold-hearted beep hole that was only using her for physical attention. I definitely was not. I thought we had a future. I wasn't ready to propose or anything, but I thought she was the one. By this point, we had met each other's families, and she spent last Christmas with us. My parents and sister love her. I loved her. My mom and dad called me to ask what was going on, and I told them. They think I'm being stubborn. My little sister says I'm being a complete jerk for not forgiving my ex. So, am I the bad guy? Oh boy, in my personal opinion, tests like this are, a sign of immaturity and show some insecurities in that individual. If anyone wants to play emotional games like this, I would personally be irked. It would definitely make me second guess how things are progressing and whether or not I would actually want to move in with them at that point in time. I don't think you're the bad guy. Karen, her child, and the inflatable slide. I was working a weekend gig at a carnival/outdoor festival circa 2002. My station for the day was working the large inflatable slide. It had steps going up on the right side and a slide on the left with a pad at the bottom. Basically, my job was to keep the line moving smoothly with minimal injuries. When a kid was at the top, I'd send the next in line up. This would give the children plenty of time to move off the landing zone once they got to the bottom, free from any danger of the next rider. Everything was running smoothly until Karen showed up. Her child looked about 7 years old and followed my instructions well. But when he reached the bottom, he began jumping up and down on the landing zone. This was not yet a problem, as he had a few seconds before the next child was to reach the top. I asked him kindly to come down, and he started to make his way over until Mama Karen told him he could keep jumping. I gave him a few more seconds until the next child was ready to come down, and asked the mother to please remove her child. Instead, she started to yell at me that her son wasn't hurting anything. At this point, I had to tell the child at the top to please wait. I had a back and forth with Mama Karen, explaining that her child needs to move for his protection, and it was holding up the line for everybody else. This went on for a while. Other parents started to complain and shout, while the line continued to back up. Mama Karen yelled at me to just send the next kid down, as her son would be fine, and she would remove him when he was done. Fine by me. The child who had been waiting patiently at the top was significantly larger than Mama Karen's offspring and was wearing jogging pants and socks, a perfect aid for speeding down the slide. As soon as I signaled for him to come down, he jumped straight up and hit the slide with max velocity. Pretty sure he set a high-speed record because by the time he hit the landing zone, he just skidded across the top of it and nailed the demon's offspring with his feet. This sent the little boy flying about 10 feet into the pavement. I didn't say a single word, and neither did Karen. I just stared at her while she picked up her screaming child off the pavement and left. Anyway, I did feel really bad for her child, but I hope Karen learned a valuable lesson. Don't mess with carnies. I purposely farted in front of a guy at the gym because he wouldn't take no for an answer. So, first off, a few things. I go to the gym to work out and decompress. I don't see it as a place to be social. I wear large over-ear headphones for this reason. I was at the gym and just finished one of my sets for deadlifts when a guy walks over. This is something I'm used to. He starts talking to me and I'm able to pick up that he's flirting. I'm polite and wait for the proper moment to end the conversation. Suddenly he asks for my number and I decline. He keeps talking and going into the usual shtick of why not and come on. At this point, I'm very uncomfortable and also annoyed because my workout timer has gone off and it's time for me to start my next set. I put on my big girl pants and tell him he's making me uncomfortable and I just want to finish my workout. Does he leave? No. He keeps talking and going on about how he didn't mean it like that and he's not a bad guy. No actual apology to be found. Now, on a side note, during this entire interaction, I've had to fart. I was being polite and holding it in until he left, but seeing as he's not, well, I know a way to get him to leave. As he's still rambling, I just let it go. It's silent but rather deadly. It only takes about 2 seconds for him to catch a whiff. He stops talking, and the face he makes is too much that I have to bite on my lip to stop from laughing. That's when he gives me a look that says, "Are you serious?" And then, finally, he leaves. I'm left alone to finish my workout. Silent but deadly. Okay, this story is a bit of a wild one. Am I the bad guy for hitting a Karen after she grabbed my baby? Yesterday, I was at the park with my 6-month-old daughter, Emily. It was a nice day, and I was just enjoying some time outside with her. I had her in a stroller, and we were sitting on a bench when this normal, crazy-looking Karen came up to us. Sorry to interrupt, but what is a normal, crazy-looking Karen? She started making small talk, which was fine at first, but then she started asking all these personal questions about Emily, how old she was, if she was breastfed or bottle-fed, stuff like that. I was getting uncomfortable, so I tried to politely end the conversation. Suddenly, she reached into the stroller and picked up Emily without asking. I freaked out and told her to put my baby down. She ignored me and started cooing and making faces at Emily. I was panicking and yelling at her to give my daughter back, but she just would not listen. At that moment, my protective instincts kicked in. I grabbed Emily out of her arms and pushed Karen away. She stumbled back. I slapped her, and I think I might have hit her with something because she started bleeding from her nose. She started screaming that I assaulted her and was going to call the police. A crowd started gathering, and some people were telling her she was out of line, while others were looking at me like I was the crazy one. I got out of there as fast as I could and went straight home. I was shaking and just could not believe what had happened. Now I'm worried about what might come next. Did I overreact? Should I have handled it differently? Am I the bad guy for hitting Karen after she grabbed my baby? Wow, this is a wild story. Not out of line one bit. To me, it sounds like your instincts kicked in and you were reacting out of self-defense. If some stranger went ahead and tried to pick up my child after I told them no, I would have absolute zero tolerance for it. You are not the bad guy. Thank you all for tuning in today. I'm done babbling. That's all I have for you. If you liked today's episode, please don't forget to share and subscribe, hit that like button, and keep your buzz going. Catch you next time.